Hey, welcome into the 15-minute weather. We're wearing jackets inside because we're cold.
It's cold today.
Yep. I'm meteorologist John Ziegler. I'm with meteorologist Courtney Aiken. And we've had a little baby cold front coming through here that we want you to know about. There's some icy spots that have been showing up towards St. Cloud, Monticello. In fact, Corinne, our producer, was driving home, and she said, hey, is this freezing rain? But then it was sleet. And then it was freezing rain, so we don't want you to get caught off guard.
Yeah, one of those gray areas that this looked like it was going to be a light snow event, and then we're starting to get the radar verification along with some reports out in the field that there are some slick spots. There definitely could be some sleet and freezing rain, so
it's
something
tough,
to be aware of.
It's tough because it's all over the place, and we were looking at what we call upper level soundings, and to me it was like, oh, it's borderline sleet, borderline freezing rain. So, and then actually Ben Derry just texted us and said, oh, I have sleet at my house. So I'm like, okay, where is the freezing rain? It's tough.
Right.
We just know it's a mix, and you want to watch out for that. But we had confirmed some slick spots in Monticello, up to Big Lake and St. Cloud. I saw a grip of accidents there, so that's Highway 10 and 94 if you're going northwest on from Minneapolis. So let's take a look right now. MnDOT's been a little bit behind this, and that is because this is kind of happening in real time.
Correct. Yeah. So you'll see, I mean, you have to look out to the northwest of the Twin Cities, even northwest of St. Cloud. That's where we're starting to see those reports of slick roads, accidents trickle in. So that's where you see the blue and even pink at times. So roads becoming partially to even completely covered. Now, you don't need to have blue or pink on the map in order to have slick roads. So just remember that as you look at all the green down from St. Cloud into the Twin Cities. Just because it's all green doesn't mean you're all good to go. Like John mentioned, this is a little bit behind. This is something that's happening in real time, so road conditions may deteriorate through the 1 o'clock hour.
So we were seeing accidents in St. Cloud and Northwest Metro in the good normal driving. So this is one where I always tell people to go to 511. I mean, you'll see where the accidents are, but the road conditions might not be completely accurate because the freezing rain wasn't necessarily forecasted because it's pretty cold. It looked like it was going to be snow. The radars even say it's snow, but then the surface observations are coming as freezing rain. So that's a tough situation. And sometimes you get untreated roads and you're going to get MnDOT a little caught off guard and plow drivers in general probably caught off guard. So that makes the roads a little worse. So something to think about here as you go out there. And you can see, we've got a winter weather advisory. Again, this is just until really the middle of the day here. Really
short duration event. This was just issued, and it's only for roughly 3 hours, just for that chunk of counties there in purple, for the possibility of some light freezing rain. We're getting reports of that, not everywhere, but in some spots. And of course, where we do get those conditions, we're going to have icy roads.
Yeah, and this could end by 12:30. I mean, but you got to make sure that you're checking 511. I know I said not to, but you still need to, just because you could see where the accidents are. So right now, it's pretty clear that Highway 10 is icy, and Highway 94 is icy. But this is kind of a precautionary advisory they just issued last second. It's a tricky one, regardless if you're watching our show. If you want to wait till the afternoon, what we expect is temperatures to warm decently, so the road should be able to thaw quickly. If you're watching this, don't get caught before 1 o'clock in the freezing rain.
Right, and we mentioned throughout the morning and throughout the morning stream that the wintry precipitation today is going to be in and out. It's not going to last all day. By 1 o'clock, I think at the latest, we're done with the precipitation, whether that be snow, sleet, freezing rain, a little bit of all three. We're done with that into the afternoon. Roads are going to be a little bit slick as the activity wraps up, but after that, we're going to dry out, so your evening commute probably should be okay. Maybe still take it a little bit slower, and you can get a better idea for the timing here on the microcast.
Yeah, it's just this little back edge of this here. It's going to be more snow. So this is a freeze frame at around 11:30, and it's going to be a really quick brush. It's already out of here by 12:20, like you see. So it's really just this middle of the day freezing rain deal. I would rather be Hayward and get snow, but that's, I guess, not what we're getting here in the metro.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one of those days where if you're somebody who likes to leave the office and grab lunch somewhere, maybe just stay put this afternoon, stay out of the way of those roads, but things should improve into the afternoon, evening. By 2-3 o'clock, done with the precipitation. At that point, it's just going to be wind. So the same system that's giving us that precipitation right now is also going to cause a shift in the wind. So northwest winds this afternoon, easily 20, even 30 miles per hour, which is definitely going to cause a little bit of a bite to the air, even though it'll be warmer than it was yesterday.
Yep, and so we're just popping up snowfall. This is a tricky one because they're not issuing, you're not going to get an advisory for any of the snow because the snow is going to fall northeast. So if you're watching in Menominee, Hayward, like I said, I'd rather trade freezing rain and drizzle for an inch of snow. So northeast of us, New Richmond, Osceola, Pine City North, you're not in the advisory, and we're not actually expecting to have as bad of roads. Again, an inch of snow is never going to get you an advisory. You have to have freezing rain to get an advisory or get more than 4 inches of snow. One of those two have to happen. That's why you're not getting an advisory. So I think it's confusing sometimes. The place not getting snow gets the advisory this time.
Yeah, that definitely can be confusing. And even for this scenario, I think we have the advisory for that chunk of counties.
We could show you where that is one more time.
In and around the Twin Cities. There you can see Hennepin County is in on that. And that's for the potential of freezing rain. Doesn't mean it's going to happen everywhere that you see the purple, but it means it is a possibility. And if that does happen, roads are going to be slick. So again, stay put through your afternoon. By the evening commute, I think things should be a little bit better. Yeah. So this is a winter weather advisory that was issued just this morning, and that will be in effect through 1 o'clock. There's always the chance that that could be canceled a little bit early, but I do think that for safety, just count on that through 1 o'clock, stay put through 1 o'clock. Take your lunch where you're at rather than driving somewhere today.
Yeah, my buddy just said ice, ice, baby in Maple Grove. So
Oof,
Northwest Metro seems to be getting the slick spots. So there's that again. We'll go to icing. Models struggle with icing. It looks like they're just picking up on the glaze, but you can see the area, mainly central parts where we're going to pick up the glaze. And that's all this is. I mean, this is not a deep icing potential. It's always a real-time situation where people think it's rain, and they're driving 70, and they shouldn't be. So if you get out there here in the early afternoon, just be aware that this is a glaze of ice. It's not regular rain. Oops, sorry.
And a little bit of that goes a long way as well. So through 1 o'clock today, we've got that wintry mix. Some of you could see sleet. Some of you will see that freezing rain. So just take it slow, take it easy. That's going to end after lunchtime. So after that, we're just dealing with wind. Those winds will shift out of the northwest. Remember, they were out of the south this morning. They're going to pick up out of the northwest into the afternoon and evening. The speeds a little bit aggressive, 20, 30 miles per hour. And then if you're wondering when the next chance of precipitation is, there is a chance tomorrow, but it is decreasing. So right now, that's not really anything to write home about. We really just want to make sure that you are aware of the potential for some light freezing rain out there, some slick roads, with that winter advisory in effect through 1 o'clock this afternoon.
All right, that sounds good. Again, today, temperatures 34 degrees, but watch out for the slick roads, especially early. When you look at 34, the good news with that is the temperatures are going to be warm enough to melt the snow. Like you were talking about earlier, winds are going to be gusting. This is going to be behind the front once we get to 2:30. Temperatures will actually fall later on tonight. And we'll go back to the winds here. You can see the winds are going to be strongest up in Bemidji, 32, 30 in International Falls. Not the strongest winds that we see in the wintertime. We get days at 40, 50 all the time. But a breezy day, definitely blustery with those northwest winds. And that northwest wind is going to lead us to 5 degrees in St. Cloud, 10 in the Twin Cities, -5 in Bemidji, -3 in Grand Rapids again. So you're going to watch conditions up there cold and clearing out once again. And that's just going to be the whiplash effect that we have. Tomorrow is a cold day. The average high is now in the 30s, some places middle 30s.
Right.
It's weird because you can see down near Sioux Falls, they are in the middle 30s. They don't have snow on the ground. It's like a different world down there. They're 10, 15 degrees warmer every day.
Yeah, the snow depth makes a world of difference when it comes to the temperatures. And we saw our snow depth here locally recover after last week's event, but we can still use a little bit more if we want to keep those cold temperatures. Which,
heck yeah, you said you want more snow. All right, here's the low pressure center. This is going to be on Wednesday, so we had been talking about a chance for snow on Wednesday, but usually when you're 4 days out, you got to be careful of even mentioning anything that you think will happen because it will change. And this one on Wednesday shifted big time to the southwest. Maybe Sioux Falls gets clipped. This thing weakened as well. It just looks very unlikely that we're going to get in the mix for the snow on Wednesday. 7-day forecast, temperatures all over the place. I call this the pinball. I don't know. What do you got? Some good thesaurus words for this?
Oh, man.
I go whiplash.
Whiplash is good. Roller coaster's good.
I like.
Pinball's good, though.
You like the pinball?
I like that.
So I'm
I've
trying to
never
mix
heard
this
that
stuff.
before.
I try to mix this stuff up in my life. I like volatility.
We got topsy-turvy. It's not as fun
Topsy-turvy.
as volatility.
Okay. I feel like meteorologists don't use a lot of volatility enough.
Volatility. Yeah.
I like is stock market talk. You know,
Yeah.
talk about crypto tanking, just like our temperature.
Quintessential John Ziegler is merging stocks with the forecast.
I love it. Like we're in a bear market right now. No, you know, I don't know. Find a way to. I love saying the word volatility on air.
It's a good word.
Uncertainty.
It's a good word.
I don't know.
Uncertainty.
That's a big.
Uncertainty can get you in trouble, though, a little bit, maybe.
On weather.
Yeah, 'cause do they want us to be certain? I don't know.
Oh, they probably want us to be.
Probably
certain,
want us
but
to
that
be.
doesn't
Truth
happen,
is,
so.
we're not always. But
It's a percentage game.
point of the conversation is temperatures are a little all over the place on the 7-day. We're going up and down kind of all around, hitting 40s by Friday. Then we're cold again as we get into the weekend. And Sunday is the first day of March. Also the first day of meteorological spring. Not that it matters.
Doesn't mean anything here.
Doesn't
but
mean anything here.
It's hope.
It's hope. And the Climate Prediction Center has now put out their outlook for the month of March. So they have what we're likely to see temperature-wise and precipitation-wise for the month of March. And then they've also issued, they do it seasonally so that we've got March, April, May all lumped together. And
I like that.
I feel like we haven't talked weather minds in a minute.
No,
So
let's pop some weather
meteorologist
minds in here.
Jamie Cagle actually did a little weather minds project on what we're expecting in terms of El Nino, La Nina, and we'll talk a little bit more about why that means a lot to us. So check it out.
It seems like we're backing into winter again. So what's the outlook? Well, we're currently sitting in a weak La Nina pattern, but there's a good chance we'll see it shift to neutral as we get to April, and that should hold through summer, but there's a 50 to 60% chance El Nino develops, though confidence is rather low that far out. So for us, March looks like a bit of a coin flip when we talk about the temperatures as well as the chance of precipitation. But by spring, we're going to be leaning a little closer to cooler than average pattern for Minnesota and Wisconsin. But come summer, most of the country will start to trend warmer than normal, and that includes us. Spring could start out a little wetter than normal as well, but that all shifts towards the mid-Atlantic and the southeast. Meanwhile, we'll see subtle signs of our drier than normal pattern here while it really drops off to the west. But time will tell.
All right, and La Nina and El Nino are very important. I've done a lot of research on this, spent way too much time in my last station, and I did learn a lot, but I also learned that a lot of it's kind of a crapshoot.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, he said at the very end there, time will tell, and that really is the truth, because this is not, the La Nina, El Nino patterns are not the 7-day forecast. It is so much bigger
different.
than that. It is,
It's a
we're
pattern.
talking months, even years worth of oscillation.
Yeah.
Really big drivers of change.
A lot of times El Nino and La Nina very important in the winter time. But El Nino, a big reason for the warming climate in general is El Nino. We've had 80% El Ninos when you look at the past 20 years. Now we're starting to mix in the La Ninas, and you can't think small-minded, it's big picture. The world is colder when you upwell cold water into the surface. It's that simple. La Nina is upwelling, cold water comes to the surface down to the South Pacific, and the world gets colder.
Right, whereas El Nino, you get the warmer sea surface temperatures.
Yes, so warmer sea surface, the world is warmer. It's sometimes that simple. The oceans dominate us. But for us, you really need to have strong La Ninas, which create cold winters, or strong El Ninos, which create warm winters. Anything semi-neutral is a roll of the dice, baby.
It is.
That's what I think we're getting this. If you ask me personally, when you have a weak El Nino coming in, I have no idea what's going to happen this summer.
And that's fair. There's uncertainty, like we mentioned. There's uncertainty.
There is. Well,
Always.
be careful if you're outside there today driving.